know it has been so damn humid here, and I'm over it. Hello, welcome back to my story. My name is Harley Nouveau, if you did not know. And today we have another chapter of my skin journey. This is, I believe, week 8, if my memory serves me correctly, of my attempts to solve my skin problems using retinol, retin-A, Differin specifically. The purpose of this series is to document what happens to your skin as you go through the journey of using such a product. And what a journey it has been, let me tell you. Before we get into today's update, if you could please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, and add your name to the storybook that is my life. I'm always looking to expand the cast. Not much to really talk about other than that, so let's get into this. So when last we left off, I went through like 4 days where I didn't have a breakout, and then it came back in full force right before I filmed. As you can tell looking at my face, that is indeed still the case. I also said that I think that I was suffering from a fungal acne flare-up, which, if you did not know, also called folliculitis, is where there's like a yeast production increase on your skin that causes a specific type of acne. Usually it focuses around like your hairline or where hair is. Also can be denoted by, instead of like pus or normal things inside of your zit, it's like a little hard seed. I don't have an example to show you because it'd be gross. I don't know why it's called fungal acne, because it's not an actual fungus. So I have been tackling my skin as if that is the case. Granted, I think I've only been doing it now for like 5 days, and it says to use that treatment for 2 weeks. I'm using that simultaneously with this. So we will see if that helps take care of that problem. My concern is that I don't know if it's clogging my pores, because there's been a lot of changes with my skin that we'll talk about. So getting up close so you can see better. The biggest difference in between last week and this week, as I said, my acne breakouts, whatever you want to call them, was spreading across other parts of my face. It now has started moving into this area, which, if you've been keeping up, I've really only been limited to like the forehead, a little bit around the mouth. I do have that here, but sometimes that's just caused by ingrown hairs from shaving. It's hard to say what is what. For a while, when using the Differin, the texture of my skin got a lot better. I still haven't been experiencing uniform dryness where like the whole thing is flaky. I get like patches here and there that show up for like a day or two, but they don't ever last. Again, I'll reiterate, for like the 5th week in a row, that could be from my moisturizer, maybe like needing to apply a little more in some areas, vice versa. I did read online that apparently peak dryness is typically between weeks 8 and 9. But I've noticed that when looking at the results and the timeline of how this plays out, everyone always varies. Some people say that like the breakout phase is between week 2 and 7. Some people claim their breakouts didn't stop until week 11. It's very hard to say predictably how this is going. All I know is that it's going dramatically. Looking up close, I went from having really smooth hair, I don't know what you'd call that part of my face, to getting clogged pores and what I assume is fungal acne, because it doesn't look like blackheads when they come out. It looks like a seed. And then I have like a clogged pore on my nose. Hopefully I don't have a repeat of my birthday incident where I had like a huge boil looking pimple there. I've been struggling with that. Like I said, there's specific areas on my face that keep breaking out over and over in the same exact spot. That being right here, and right here. However, this one actually is still a hold off from last week. Hasn't changed or anything like that, other than like it's scabbed over, so I think it's healing. This spot started going away, but then I had a new one pop up right here. And I've noticed specifically in the past week that all of these that are popping up are harder than the previous breakouts I've been getting. Like literally more firm. And I don't know what that could be a result of. You know, I'm only an esthetician, not a dermatologist. And let me tell you, it's very embarrassing as a licensed esthetician that for like 5 months now, I have not been able to figure out what the hell is going on with my face. There are so many different types of acne and ways to treat them that it's very difficult to ascertain what is what, especially because when treating skin issues, you have to give it time to work. So, you know, a good 14 to 21 days each time I tackle something to see if that is what's happening. It's a mess, let me tell you. And I would be lying to you if I didn't say that as I get closer to the 12-week point, I get more and more urge to not continue. But the whole point is you're supposed to make it a 12-week and then decide. So I'm going to hold off, but it's getting very difficult. I'm coming very close to giving up because this is all a mess. And the one thing that is stopping me, which I was telling my best friend Jasmine, is that this skin problem I've been having actually started back in late May. It wasn't something that started with the taking of the Differin, and the only reason I even began this routine in the first place was because I could not figure out what was going on with my skin, and I thought, hey, maybe that would help. I do know that I have sensitive skin and I'm extremely acne prone. Like, everything makes me break out, my own sweat. The only thing that doesn't make me break out, I've noticed, is literally the BB cream that I use when I put on makeup. But it's difficult when it's humid, so I thought for a while that maybe being in Florida had aggravated my skin because it was humid all the time. So my skin was always moist, and it has been humid as hell here. And the only reason I think that is because when I took that trip to New Mexico last year, my skin cleared up like instantaneously over that 5-day trip. That's all just musings. Anyway, looking up, you can see that I have some breakouts happening. I'm getting a lot more of these like smaller skin colored bumps. However, when I look at them up close, they kind of remind me of blackheads, which is why I'm not sure if the thing I'm using for the fungal acne is clogging my pores or if that's like happening for a reason and it's part of the cell turnover, and then, you know, over the next week and a half it'll go away. That's really the thing about this whole process, is that it's kind of a gamble. I am still hesitant to try chemical exfoliant because sensitive skin issues, so I have been washing my face with a microfiber cloth these past few days to see if maybe that will help with physical exfoliation and help with a little bit of the texture. And there are still parts of my face, like right here, that are extremely smooth, but then there are other parts, like right here, obviously where the breakouts are happening, that aren't the greatest. I have to be upfront with you. I started also, because I'm lazy as hell and I'd never done it up until this point, sorry, switching my pillowcases out every day, so that in the event that the humidity, which is causing me to sweat more in my sleep, is aggravating the breakouts, like along this part, because I usually sleep on the side of my face, so I'm wondering if that's what all this was. So I'm tackling this from a multitude of angles. Yeah, is that an update? That's like a really broad spectrum update. The reason I include all of this in this is because a lot of these problems that I'm having didn't start until doing this. Now, the breakouts in general was a problem I was having, but like the fungal acne and things like that didn't happen until I was on Differin. And I read online that apparently it's not that uncommon for people who start a retinol routine to have a fungal acne outbreak. So apparently a lot of the things that I'm struggling with are common byproducts of the routine. You just have to tackle them. And the thing with fungal acne, as I said last video, is it's always there. Like, the components are always there, it's just hitting the right circumstances for it to flare. For instance, like certain type of moisturizers you use. And that's another thing. This is a really talky video. I've started using sunblock every day more, and I know it's common for SPF to clog the pores. It's very difficult, like I said, when you struggle with being sensitive and having acne prone, easily clogged, comedogenic skin, if you will, finding a balance of what to use, also knowing when you've given something the appropriate amount of time. Most of the products I'm using now have always worked for me. That's why I was very confused when all of this kicked off back in May, because I didn't change anything, but suddenly my skin went from being okay to a nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, I never had great skin to begin with. I've always struggled. I'm like the only one in my family that struggles with bad skin. But I'd gotten it to a tolerable place last year, and then 2020 hitting us on every front, isn't it? My redness, it's okay. It calmed down a bit from last week when I had that bad reaction to sunblock. I got a different one this time. Breakout wise, it's hard to say because I feel like it's not as over the top as it's been, but it is getting more like severe where it's popping up. It's not like it's widespread because these all popped up on different days, but they are more intense. The hyperpigmentation of the blemishes is intense. I'm not having any dryness or flakiness. My skin texture is really only bad where the blemishes are. So yeah, that's where week 8 has left me. Severely questioning a lot of my life choices. So again, if you are considering trying a retinol routine, be very prepared for how it will affect your mental health and image of yourself. And with all that being said, I want to thank you for stopping by in today's chapter and joining me on this horrific journey I'm on. As always, I am Harley Nouveau. Until our stars next align.